Thank you. Okay.
Minister with CNBC.
Nice to see all of you. It's been quite a long week for all of you.
Yes.
All right. How can I help?
Minister with CNBC. I have a question.
Sure.
I have a question.
How about I'll start here? I'll get to everyone.
Thank you so much. My question is, will you continue to lobby President Trump to sell the Blackwell chip in China?
Well, I think it's really good for the United States and for China that Nvidia could bring AI technology to China for many reasons. One reason, of course, is that the China market is large and it's a vibrant market with a lot of developers. And those developers create AI technology that's exported from China all over the world. And so to the extent that American tech stack can run and to operate those AI models, it's good for the United States around the world.
So would you want the Blackwell to be sold in China?
I hope so. But that's a decision for President Trump to make. And,
well, based on the national security community's response, which was quite hostile after President Trump had floated the idea, what do you think the chances are that it actually will be approved for China?
Well, that's the concern about exporting technology to China, of course, and that's understandable. However, remember, China makes plenty of AI chips themselves, and the Chinese military surely have plenty of access to chips that are created in China. So whatever national security take into consideration the fact that China has blocked H20. And so, in a lot of ways, China is saying that, listen, we have plenty of AI technology ourselves, and so the national security concern from that perspective, I think, is really answered by the fact that China doesn't want H20 or any American chips.
But then what's your real
What do you think of the current market situation? Don't you think an air bubble?
There's several ways to look at it. The first thing is the computer industry is going through two platform transitions, not one. One platform transition is going from general purpose computing to accelerated computing. And that is the great invention of our company. We were able to create a new computing model that after Moore's Law has run out of steam, the world can move towards. All of the applications don't even have to be AI. It's like data processing and recommender systems and search, and many of those applications today can now benefit from accelerated computing. On top of accelerated computing, because of the performance, we created a whole new application called AI. And this AI technology is very consequential. It is very impactful for every single industry, and that is new. Probably the best way to think about the moment at this time is the technology has now evolved to be quite useful. When AI first came out, the results were quite curious and was very interesting, but not very useful. In the last couple of years, because of reasoning and agentic AI models, the AI models have now become very useful and producing answers that are very, very useful for people, for consumer users, as well as for companies, to the point where AI is now profitable. When AI is profitable, people want to produce more AI. That's the reason why capital investment is going up. And then let me just make one more observation, and that is, during the bubble time of 2000, most of the internet fiber was dark. But today, Nvidia GPUs are used all over the world, so the consumption is quite high. I think we're really in the beginning. The best way to think about this, our phase right now, is that we're in the beginning of a 10-year build-out of a new computing platform, from the old approach to the new approach. And so I think it's going to be many years of quite exciting growth. Yes.
Congratulations for becoming the first ever $5 trillion company, given the exuberance of our artificial intelligence. But as a CEO of the company, does that give you a little bit of pause, or do you think that reflects fundamentals? And how big of a risk is it that you're still shut out of the Chinese market?
Well, it took 30 years for us to do this, and we have invented a new computing approach. As you know, the computer has remained largely the same for 60 years since the invention of the IBM Systems 360. And after 60 years, we reinvented the computer. And now we're going through these platform shifts, and AI is the most impactful technology that anyone has ever known. It is fundamentally about generating intelligence. The impact is quite extraordinary to every single industry. So I'm proud of the fact that we reinvented computing. I'm proud of the fact that we're part of a technology revolution that is impacting every field of science and every industry. And it will be impactful for every single country, including Korea, which is the reason why we're here and why President Lee and all of the my CEO friends and companies, the giant companies here in Korea, have announced big partnerships, and we're going to launch new AI infrastructure into Korea. So I'm quite pleased about that, and I'm proud of the fact that Nvidia is at the epicenter.
What's the potential of sovereign programs that you mentioned, especially across Asia?
Well, here in Korea has a chance to be one of the world's major AI hubs. And today's announcement, along with President Lee's passion, enthusiasm, and drive, and my CEO friends who are dedicated to create this journey for Korea, this is a perfect example of sovereign AI.
We just saw you have a conversation with SK Group, Che Tae-won. SK Group and Samsung in that rivalry right now, but you're getting business with both companies. What's the potential there?
Well, they're both friends of mine, and they're friendly competitors. Of course, competition is terrific, and Korea is going to be growing tremendously in semiconductors in the coming years. And the reason for that, as you know, Samsung and SK helped me invent the AI supercomputer. Without the HBM memory, there is no AI supercomputer. And so I'll come back to you, I promise you. Okay. And they helped me invent the AI supercomputer, and over the next decade, memory technology and semiconductor growth here in Korea will be very significant. With respect to China, China is now 0% of our business. We used to have 95% share of the AI business in China, and now we're at 0% share. And I'm disappointed by that. And I hope that condition will change. But irrespective, Nvidia is going to grow quite substantially over the next several years.
That's the question. One is out of ordinary and one is
I grew up in China.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super rich.
Okay, perfect. Thank you
I
very
went to
much.
Rudy.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right. The extraordinary question is, what do you think about at last? Does Nvidia have any contingency plan if anything happens with the AI technology in the world currently happening?
Advancing AI, the first thing we have to do is advance AI safety.
Safety.
Although we don't talk about it a lot,
Yes.
the industry is creating an enormous amount of safety AI technology
Thank you.
and cybersecurity AI technology, guardrail technology, grounding the AI so that the AI could be truth seeking and make sure that the content that is generated is truthful. There's a great deal of AI technology associated with safety and security. So my colleagues are very serious on this. Let me just. If we take this question,
Yes.
then the whole room will be less loud.
No, I want a loud one.
Oh, okay.
Go
Let me
ahead.
take this and I'll take yours.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So Nvidia just announced a deal involving 260,000 GPUs with South Korean government. The country is leading industrial giants. So are there any plans to supply additional units to other companies in South Korea or government? So are there any plans to have more contracts coming up in South Korean government? Or
There are 60,000 GPUs in Korea today.
Correct.
In the next year, we will deploy another 250,000 in just Samsung, SK, Hyundai, Naver, and the Korean government. And so just 5 teams will deploy another 260,000. That's very significant. After that, there's no question in my mind that Korea will build many more AI factories here. Not just for the Korean industry, which is one of the largest economies in the world and one of the largest technology industries in the world, but also because Korea has a chance to be an AI hub of the region. And it has the ability to attract startups that are in other countries to be hosted on Korea AI Cloud. It also has the opportunity to attract companies to invest here. You know, if you want to be an AI company, you need to have AI infrastructure. If Korea has AI infrastructure, you can attract the investments of many startups. So I'm very optimistic about the future of AI in Korea.
Will there be more chips?
Talk to us about the foundry cooperation with Samsung Electronics. Are you, in a way, hedging TSMC?
No, hedging isn't really the right way to think about it.
How would you describe it?
We have partners that excel at the areas of manufacturing semiconductors. It is not, as you know, I make chips. There are many companies that make chips, and we make chips in different ways for different reasons and different value propositions, if you will. And so it's the same with Samsung, and you know they're deep and excellent in their field of semiconductors. And whenever we have opportunities where our products are perfect fit for the way that they manufacture chips, we find opportunities to work together. Today, Samsung manufactures all of Nvidia's robotics processors.
You mentioned that the Chinese government was blocking.
Oh, okay. I'll come back.
It was my fault. Right. BBC News. Thanks for talking to me.
I've got all night, you guys.
Will these new announcements?
I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm a little tired.
So have we.
Yeah.
Will these new announcements make up for the shortfall with the Chinese market for Nvidia?
That's really the best way to think about it is that China is a very large market. It's a very important market. The developer in the industry is really vibrant. It's dynamic. The vast majority of the world's open source AI is developed in China. Q1 is developed in China, Kimi, DeepSeek, so on and so forth. There's so many amazing AI research in China, and they do amazing work, and they do it in an open source way. And so the China market is just simply unique. It's important. It's an important and large market for all of the reasons that I mentioned. And so there is no replacing it.
But is it justified that you're being locked out of the market because of the U.S. China relations?
I hope that we will be able to go back to China, and I'll keep explaining the reasons why it's important for American companies to be able to participate in the China market, and I'll keep being optimistic that China would want American companies to be in the China market because China wants to be a region, a market where people invest and where people can build businesses, and they love companies coming into the China market. They want it to be an open market. And so I'll continue to be optimistic about these things, and hopefully things get worked out.
Is Nvidia suffering because you've not got access to the Chinese market? Is Nvidia suffering because you've not got access to the Chinese market?
If the definition of suffering means that we're not in the Chinese market, obviously, that's not the way to think about it. Whether we suffer or not, the way to think about the China market is it's a singular, vital, important, dynamic market, and nobody can replace it. And it's in the best interest of America to serve that China market. It's the best interest of China to have the American technology company bring technology to the China market. It's in the best interest of both countries. And I hope that policymakers will ultimately come to that conclusion.
Will you consider working with Korean companies to manufacture your latest GPUs, and under what circumstances? And are you planning to visit Taiwan for TSMC Sports Day?
The sports day?
Yeah.
When's the sports day?
Next week.
Really?
So you don't know?
Really? That's next week? Okay, well, let's see where I'm going to be next week. However, there are a lot of considerations when choosing a foundry for manufacturing our chips. Most of the considerations are related to whether the foundry's technology and the technology we need are perfectly aligned. And it's not good or bad. It's just simply a decision. The chips that we make are very different than mobile devices, very different than PCs, and so it just depends on where the opportunities are, where the foundries decide to focus their process technology. And then second, a lot of it has to do with timing. You know, the process technology is advancing, our chips are advancing. Sometimes the roadmaps just don't line up, and it takes a lot of good fortune, good timing, and good alignment. There's a lot of factors involved.
Justin, one more question over here.
Yeah. Can I take one from over here? I'll be right back. Yeah.
Yes. 2 days ago, U.S. and Korea has made trade deal, but uncertainties remain on semiconductors. Semiconductor tariffs that could affect Nvidia's business. And could you share your hopes or views on the recent trade deals between two countries?
Which two countries?
U.S. and South Korea has made trade deals, but there's remaining uncertainty about semiconductor tariffs that could affect Nvidia's business.
You know, I'm not in politics or geopolitics, and we lead companies. The most important thing for companies is stability, whatever the conditions are. As you know, long before Nvidia was founded, Earth has gravity, and we made a